Okay, Snowpiercer, I give it a 4 out of 5. It was a good movie. Um, very metaphorical, a lot of symbolism going on here. However, the realism part, that's lacking. There's a lot of things that don't make any sense. A lot of things I was watching, it's like, what the fuck? Like, how does that make sense? Okay, so me, I'm the kind of person that watches a movie and I go, why didn't you pick up the gun? It's so stupid. Just pick up the gun, right? But in this movie, they actually did pick up guns. That part I didn't have a problem with. In the beginning, was very made a lot of sense. As they progress through the train, things make absolutely no sense. So the first thing that got me was when they pull the prisoners out of their stasis or whatever. They pull them out of those body drawers, and they just kind of wake up and like, what was it? In the future, do they have some kind of way of making you hibernate or something, or were they asleep? Or are they allowed to roam around and every night they slide them back in? Like what was going on? And they weren't wet, they weren't frozen, they weren't what is happening here? Anyways, as they keep going, they find it's a weird sequence of rooms. Some room, the order of the train doesn't quite make sense. I mean, you got this aquarium right next to where you have all these prisoners, and right next to where all the slaves are. I mean, I don't know about that order. It doesn't make too much sense. Now, could it have been the stowaway? They had to like just make room with a caboose at the like as soon as as soon as the world froze over on the self-contained train, maybe. By the way, um, this is gonna be total spoiler alert, and if you've never seen the movie, it's about these guys who are slaves in the back of the train, and they got to work their way up to the front of the train. But it's a special train. It's a train that is a self-contained like environment. Like you can you like it does everything. Like it makes its own water, it makes its own food, it somehow makes steak. It does all this stuff. So the train like probably runs like nuclear power or fission or something like that, or whatever. You'll understand what that means. Anyway, if you watch the movie. Anyways, too much stuff doesn't make sense. Like they're walking through and they get to that room with the prisoners, and then it's just like they enter these other rooms and just like there's like staff, like these non-combatants that are just like maintenance people. Like there's one guy who's making sushi and it's just like, oh hey, it's the escaped prisoners. Oh, what do you want to eat? Like nobody's like, oh what the fuck, are you gonna like kill me or eat me or whatever? Like it's just like, oh, another revolution. Oh yeah, it happens all the time. Hey, what's up? Can I help you? Like, okay, how do they know they're not like psychos or whatever? And then and then there's like the schoolroom on the train, which okay, there's kids, all right, that makes sense. Then like immediately after it is like a disco. So like if little Timmy wants to go to school, he's gotta walk through the fucking club to go to school. And it's missing like age groups. Like there's young kids, then there's like disco, and then there's like a few old people, and there's no like 30 up at all. Like, where did they go? Uh, I guess they were the hatchet guys. Yeah, and the sex is totally disproportionate. Like supposedly this train is getting overpopulated, so they have to have these groups fight each other for made up reasons. Well, the problem with that theory is that it's like almost all dudes. It's like a cockfest train. The train is like in the movie. There's probably like 200 guys in the train. The women there was like the black chick, the fat chick in the spa. I mean, just barely any. I mean, the most were in like that club. I would say maybe like 10%. Not even that, because remember all the hatchet guys that died, all the slaves in the back that died? They're almost all guys. There's only like one or two girls for the people in the caboose, the slaves. There's barely any females in there. So how are they reproducing? if anything, the replacement rate would be going down because there's not even enough. Even if they're getting pregnant like all the time, it's not enough. Doesn't make any sense. And then at the end, the guy's eating steak. Like, where the fuck do you get steak? There's not even a cow in the whole movie. Where would you regenerate cows? I mean, you have to have like enough cows to keep breeding and stuff. I didn't see, unless I missed it, I didn't see a farm on the fucking train. There's just so many things that are just awkward and strange. Like this one guy's just shooting through windows. Like, dude, if you break those windows, how the hell are you going to replace the fucking window? Where do you make glass? There's no like glass kiln. There's nothing that's like there's no machine shop. How do they even fix like a broken table leg? There was no like mechanic or carpenter or anything or any like tool shop or whatever. It's like essential rooms just missing. It's like I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's like they didn't think about what rooms would make sense. It's very abstract and this kind of okay, I get the metaphor portion, but you could have made this make more sense. And then some parts of the trains, like you got to walk right through the middle. Like the room is like this, and you got to walk right through the middle of the room. But like, do you really want to have guys walking right through the middle of like the club where everyone's doing drugs, or would you rather have them walk on the side, like a regular train where you have like like the bedrooms and stuff, and then you have the small hallway to one side. Yeah, that would make more sense if you're transporting like food or whatever from one side of the train to the other. You're gonna want to have, you know, separate these rooms a little bit. And so, yeah, that made no sense. Um, the order of the rooms was weird. Uh, some things were just never explained. I mean, like all these eggs, they had like these carts full of eggs, but I didn't even see any chickens. I didn't see any like farm animals or anything. Like, did they skip that whole part? I don't know. I mean, I didn't see a, I mean, and then you have to have enough animals to replace the other ones. And what do the animals eat? Where do you get the grain to feed these animals? Do they feed them like these protein bars that they make from bugs? I don't know. I just doesn't make sense. Uh, and then the whole overpopulation thing doesn't make sense because of the ratio of men to women. I mean, it would automatically dwindle itself out. Um, the train had supposedly been running for like what 15 years or 17 years. They never fixed anything. I mean, the one thing they needed that kid for was the doing that manual thing. And like, when that kid get tired, how does it go to the bathroom? How do they even get him down there with that gear thing spinning in the way? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. A lot of stuff makes no sense. And do they all die at the end? Are they still alive? What happened to that kid that went back in that thing that was like came out and then went back in? Like, where's that kid? What was he doing? Who knows? Just weird stuff. So you got to be okay with the weirdness. But the beginning's very good. And the other thing too was like the old man, his phone was like so easy. All he had to do was like push on it. That was it. Like nobody thought of that in 17 years to just find that phone on the wall. Like you saw how packed it was in the back. When did they be like exploring every freaking inch? That doesn't make sense. And the thing is, the old man doesn't even have privacy. So he's got like a cloth like door, which is like right next to him, and he's like having these long conversations with his good friend or whatever, Wilbur. How are they even able to do that without other people hearing it? So the realism of the movie kind of goes out the window like halfway through, but I still like the movie. It's still a good movie. It's just I can't just detach like the logical side of my brain and then just give it like a free pass. But it's good. I still say it's 4 out of 5, and I still watched it and was glad that I did. So I recommend it. And the metaphor, what I really like about the metaphors, it's very New World Order. It's like you got the thin the herd, and they're getting like these little fighting, making these groups fight each other that don't need to fight because it's all for the elite, and they're just pitting like the expendable, pawns against each other, and people think they're fighting for something, but actually they're fighting for bullshit, which is like almost every war. There's a lot of like really good parallels, and helps people like understand. I hope people will get these metaphors and stuff, and the symbolism in the movie. But yeah, some serious issues with the realism there, but still good.